New releases are stacking in high volumes, so this time I'll be introducing the notable light novels released on March 1st. March has an extremely hot lineup. Two works has come to an end. The final volume of Hinkayadata Ore no Seishun Revenge and the Omiai series has been released, and you can't miss it. In addition, there are high expectations for a new series, especially the one which drawn by Osakana cat artist Foti Ohara and the winner of the Kondasha Ranobe Challenge Cup. There's so much to do this March. This is the lineup, so please watch this video to get the latest information on your favorites. This time, we'll be checking out the notable works that will be released from March 1, focusing on Sneaker Bunko and HD Bunko. So let's get right to it. First of all, let's take a look at the noteworthy work of the series sequel title from Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko, which will be released on March 1st. First of all, this is the 6th volume of the Revenge of My Youth, my real life with a girl who was too much of an angel. The former company slave who took a time leap has his second youth. As you can see from the cover illustration, this book series is revenge of the series. The illustrator is Tantan Sensei, but he also drew her in a wedding dress in a romantic comedy novel from a different label. To be honest, when I just saw the cover, I was a little confused. The series was originally a web-based work. It feels like the web-based version is beautifully drawn to the end in the final moments of this time, and it runs through the conclusion without going with the original development of the book version. As for the story, the main character, a former corporate slave, makes full use of his own skills. I also like the development of how he wins his youth and the pure love between him and the heroine. I can't help but smile, but because the pattern is so twisted. The fact that there are 6 volumes make it easy to read it later, and I don't think it's a bad idea to summarize it in such a compact way. The final part is for the heroine, a time leap where the main character returns to the future world to help after a problem occurs. It looks like it's going to be an interesting story, but traveling through time in order to overcome difficulties is a promise of a time leap. I'm sure that there will be a happy ending. I wonder what kind of ending the two will end up with. If you're a fan of the series, please check out the last minute as well. Next, I didn't want to meet a prospective marriage partner, so I set an impossible condition. Then my classmate came, Volume 8. This is also a popular romantic comedy from Sneaker Bunko, but this is not the end of the wedding. I feel like it's unique to this work that she's in not a dress, but in a white. It looks kinda intense drama from the first part, but when you look closer, it really does slowly move to a wholesome romantic comedy that defines what marriage sounds like, so you can tell it from here. In this final volume, the fake couple finally getting married after graduating, spending time together, honeymooning, and having reunion with friends, but there's a catch. Something naughty lurking inside. After all these volumes, I'm thinking of how kinky and somewhat erotic every time she appears in every single volume by just the way these two having sweet lovey-dovey from being just a fake couple to now becoming a husband and wife. With the manga adaptation having in its slow progress, I think it's about time to catch up to the latest volume while you can. Fans of the series should not miss this as well. In addition, there's also Volume 2, the dark story of the strongest failed aristocrat's mastery of sword magic. I got fired from the hero's party, so when I went back to my hometown, all the members came with me, Volume 2. This will be also releasing both as a fantasy series. Fans can't wait to see what's next in the new series. Next, let's check out the noteworthy works of the new series. First of all, this is when I pick up a beautiful downer girl with a nice face in front of the entrance. This new work has a feeling that the heroine is a little sick. This work is about a woman who lives alone. It was drawn by the popular Osakana cat artist Forty Ohara. It seems to be a reactionary story where the heroine doesn't want to stay at home, moves to a high school student's house. By the way, the heroine seems to be the protagonist's neighbor in the apartment, so it's not like it's a complete same-sex romantic story. It seems like the heroine is a downer girl who is in a self-destructive phase, and she seems to have some dangerous parts, like giving away her body easily. However, the heroine seems to gradually open up to the main character, which is a sweet element. It seems like there will be a codependent relationship. I guess that also a point of interest. If you want to be moved by a heroine who feels lost, you might want to check out this work. Having had my bride stolen from me, I just want to live in peace. This is also a new work in the romantic comedy genre. Sneaker Bunko continues to release new romantic comedies. However, this new work also has a slightly disturbing title. It's a bit of a neo-Tora-dora one. This work is based on society. The main character's bride is stolen from her at a wedding. It's a very rough beginning, and it seems like it was a strategic marriage between the parents who passed down on their companies, and as the relationship breaks down, the main character ends up in a super unreasonable state where he loses his family and is fired. I'm sure it's a shame for his parents. Well, I guess the main character is okay, but the one who visits the main character is a high school girl who is a younger sister of his ex-fiancé. In other words, this work is a romantic comedy about the younger sister. Well, it's a bit complicated, but since it's a pure love story where the young heroine spoils her, the sweetness is quite high. That's how it feels. However, when you look at the illustrations, the main character is extremely good looking. Does this mean the heroine is quite in love with him? Also, the main character's former direct boss appears, so it has a romantic comedy element. It seems like that there's also, but as of this setting, there's quite a bit of a loser heroine aura, but this is like this kind of a boss type. There are times when the heroine wins. However, I hope she does her best. If you want to enjoy a slightly different, no-nonsense comedy, then check out this work. And finally, this is while I was helping my sister broadcast the labyrinth, I accidentally defeated an S-rank monster, and here is the result. A new series about dungeon distribution has arrived. Seriously, this genre has increased tremendously in the past few months. I'm curious to see how the sales of the dungeon distribution are going to be. The story sets in a modern era where dungeons have appeared and broadcasting labyrinth walkthroughs have become commonplace. The main character is accompanying his younger sister as a cameraman as she navigates the labyrinth, but in order to protect her beloved sister, she defeats an S-rank monster. As a result, the main character is the strongest type of person who doesn't realize and ends up making a mess all over the world. It's like a cheat character. It becomes a commonplace for a first-timer streamer to go viral. The main character, who suddenly becomes a popular figure, was asked to collaborate with a popular girl streamer. They start to form a harem, but since they are such a extreme siscon, they don't seem to notice anyone other than their younger sister. The main character is a comedy story in which the main character, who is a siscon, does his best to help his younger sister. That's right, I think there will be a dungeon distribution that you can enjoy quickly. If you are interested, please check it out. Now, we have picked up the most popular light novels from Sneaker Bunko. Next up is HJ Bunko, which will be released on March 1st. Let's start with the sequel titles. First of all, this is No Matter How I Look at It, the girl who should have only confessed to me for a punishment game fell in love with me, Volume 8. This is a school youth romance comedy. It's a series with a very high level of frozen ground. The unsung protagonist is a school student. The series begins with a confession as a punishment game, but from there, They are attracted to each other and become equable quite early on, so it's a series with a strong sense of sweetness, but it's a bit of a false start. Yes, they managed to control those areas and became a real couple. The point of this work that is a voice that starts out as a lie becomes real, which is the standard of romantic comedy. Fun is already in its 8th volume, so the relationship between the two is starting to mature. The latest edition of the series is about to enter the high school festival season. It looks like the main character's class is going to have a cosplay cafe. It's so crazy. However, the heroine in a maid costume is also graces the cover, and the story is about to have a high level of flirtation, so fans of the series should definitely enjoy the latest issue. H.J. Bunko also has other works like Spiritualist Expelled from the Hero Party Volume 2, Sword Saint Adele's Redo Volume 3, tired office worker started living with a beautiful high school girl I met after 7 years, Volume 3, Invaders of the Rokujoma, Volume 45. These works have an incredible impression, so don't miss it. Next, let's take a look at the new series. First of all, here's the first volume of Repeat Vice. The villainous aristocrat stopped becoming one of the 4 heavenly kings because he didn't want to die. I like the nice cover especially. Also, the title says villainous aristocrat, but I get the impression that this kind of genre has been increasingly quite a bit lately, and it's a concept that is completely connected to the villainous. The stage is different from where the RPG world is realized. It seems to be the beginning of a living aristocratic boy who repeatedly dreams of himself being brutally murdered when he's grown up. In order to avoid such a future that will bring about such destruction, he uses future memories to set the destruction flag. The story is quite sticky, but the main character is not reincarnated into the game world, but the inhabitants of the game world, the ones who have memories of the future. It's a little unusual for him to have one, but since the game is set in an alternate world that embodies the game world, will there be characters from the other worlds other than the main character? The series was originally based on the original work. The worldview has been elaborated and the villain aristocrat has been created. The charm of the character who plays an active role is also quite good. If you want to read a fantasy story with an unconventional villain, you may want to check this out. H.J. Bunko also has other new series like a reincarnated Omiai who saved a dungeon broadcaster and became a legend after accidentally broadcasting a Supercast Curse Volume 1. This will also be released. There will be also a dungeon distribution, but it's the same name that the main character was reincarnated from the Henan period. It's been quite a while since it's been released. It's like a serious crime that has been decided before the release, so it's becoming a hot topic. If you're interested, you should also check out this new release. Next, we will talk about the one that will also be released on March 1st. Next, from the works of Kondasha Runaway Bunko, this time only one new series will be released. The title is In This World Where God Exists, Beasts Dream of Humans. It's got a nice atmosphere. It conveys a high fantasy feeling, even on the cover. This work is an award-winning work of the Kondasha Runaway Challenge Cup, and the genre seems to be a dark fantasy. The published oral elastography has a wonderful, profound atmosphere that makes you feel dead in a good way. This work is set in an alternate world where humans who commit crimes made to have parts of their bodies transformed by the power of God. The main character, who was born with a mutation in his body, becomes a security maintenance organization that captures criminals. It seems that the main character will be swallowed by a big fate after starting a life with a certain girl. Apparently, this work is about the flooding of the country by the Revolutionary Army, a grand rebellion against the very system of the world called God. It seems like it will be led to a story like this. It seems to be a dark fantasy that is quite readable, so if you want to immerse yourself in this worldview, you should check out this series. Next, let's take a look at the other noteworthy works from other labels. This time, we will pick up 2 new works from Bunko, which will be released on March 1st. First, let's look at the title Exiled Merchant Saves the World with the Power of Money. This is also a new work that has a very strong fantasy feel. By the way, this work is by Daken, the author of Who Killed the Hero, which was a hot topic last year. This new series, which became a hot topic as 5 works have been decided to be made into books at once, and this is one of them. The story is about the main character, a merchant who has been expelled from the party and uses the power of money to subjugate the Demon King. It seems like it's going to be an adventure fantasy with the aim of being a relic, and the first task is to recover equipment from the bodies of the old party that was wiped out. It seems to be quite a dirty story, but I think it would be quite interesting to shift the story away from the template-like setting of party expulsion. Daken Sensei has been producing a lot of high-quality fantasy stories lately. I think you can pick up this work with confidence. And finally, this is Nanpa Mob is My Job. When I went to hang up, I started falling in love with the heroine. This is a new work in the romantic comedy genre, but it seems like a romantic comedy with a slightly unusual setting. By the way, the author Noru Yamada has a series called Allmark. However, this is not a school magic fantasy, but after all, so I'm not expecting to release a new romantic comedy. I didn't expect that, however, but apparently the setting of this world itself is not special. If you look at the outline, it seems to be a modern-based genre game world. In such a world, the heroine attempts to attack the heroine and is repelled by her boyfriend. A pickup mob with a role becomes main character. It's a rather unusual setting, where the main character is a mob character who doesn't have a name and seems to fall in love with the heroine. But if the main character and the mob are deeply involved, it will destroy the story, so it seems to be a big problem. Well, it's a world-class development where the world collapses if it gets a happy ending. I don't know if it's going to turn out that way, but I can only summarize the details while this video filmed, so there's no way to check the content. So I don't know what the specific direction of the story will be, but I just looking at the settings, so it looks kinda pretty interesting. If it's possible, it's better to try out at least before the release date, or it's on sale right now. I think it's a good idea, but I think it's also quite a waste, so see you later. This looks really interesting, so if you're interested in it, please check it out. So this time, I have introducing the new light novel works that will be on sale on early March. There are quite some concluding series, but there are also a few new series that I'm interested in. But what do you all think about this lineup? If there's anything that you're interested in, please let me know in the comment section. That's all with this video. I'll be introducing the most popular videos next week, so I'd be happy if you could click the subscribe button or watch one more video to show your support for this channel. See you in the next video. See you soon.